We are getting a lot of new toys in level 40 and there are a few classes that are gonna be the clear winners, so we are gonna break down every single one of those specs that I think are gonna pump at level 40. First of all, let's go over the most obvious one, the DPS warrior. Warriors are gonna get either Bloodthirst or Mortal Strike. I made a guide on the level 40 specs for arms, and trust me, Mortal Strike is not even the best part of it. There is two reasons that I think the warrior is gonna destroy level 40. First of all is the gear. As you know, there is gonna be a lot of more busted gear available now, like the helmet with 1% crit on it, or the boots of avoidance, or by the love of God, the weapons. The weapons are so strong. By the way, cope and sit, Fury Boys, because all the good weapons are two-handers. But my favorite weapon of all time is the Ravager. This thing has a chance on hit of turning it into an AoE attack. It does a quadrillion damage, it is amazing. Alright, the classes, I forgot this video is about the classes. So the warrior is gonna get Sweeping Strikes, the talent. It is basically a quintuple cleave. And they are also getting Whirlwind, which is another AoE. I would be shocked if warriors are not gonna be dominating the DPS meters, at least in AoE fights, because of all of that. Next in the list is one that wouldn't be in the list if it weren't for the runes. The runes changed classes so much that you're gonna see specs that traditionally make no sense at all, and that is the Hunter. Hunters have the Beast Mastery rune that is extra 20% more damage on the pet, and the melee weaving hunter, which was originally a meme, is now a serious top DPS contender with the new ability Flanking Strike. They are already doing pretty good in BFD, there is several hunters hitting top 100 in the world right now, but at level 40 it is gonna get dumber and dumber. Why do I say that? Because of the new talents. Their pets are gonna get 15% more crit, they are gonna get Frenzy, which is basically Flurry for warriors, you know, more attack speed every time they crit. They are also gonna get more energy to spam more abilities to crit more often, and they are also gonna get this Keystone talent in Beast Mastery that increases your pet damage by another 50% on top of everything. So if you are sick of hunter pets doing more damage than you, this tier is not gonna be any better. I know the pets got nerfed, it doesn't matter, just you wait. Next class I am hopeful for is the Resto Shaman, which is weird because if you look at the Resto Shaman right now, it is currently underperforming quite a bit. What is gonna change mainly about the Shaman is Chain Heal. Chain Heal is the main staple, the bread and butter of any Resto Shaman, and they were missing it the whole first tier. What I used to say on my other videos is, imagine a Frost Mage that doesn't have Frostbolt. That is basically the level 25 Resto Shaman and it sucks. But the Resto Shaman is not only gonna get Chain Heal finally at level 34, the most mana efficient heal in the game mind you, they are also getting an equally important ability, and that is the Mana Tide Totem. This totem generates 36% of your total mana for the whole party. You are never gonna have mana problems again, and as a matter of fact, that is gonna make all the speedrunning guilds want a Resto Shaman in their group just because of that. And you know what? I am all for it. Shamans are already favored for speedrunning guilds because of how Earth Shield works. Basically, the game thinks that all the healing that the tank gets from Earth Shield is the tank healing himself, and that means the tank is gonna generate threat of the heals that you give him, and that is huge. So those two things combined are gonna make the Resto Shaman the flagship healer for all the speedrunners. Do not sleep on the Resto Shaman. Next class in the super based classes, 100% real, no fake, no clickbait, is the Bear Druid. Now, contrary to popular belief, the bear is doing just fine. Balance whiners, druids, I'm calling you out, druids, you are the biggest whiners I've ever seen, and I am a druid main. Like, you won't stop complaining about the bear. I've been tanking BFD the whole tier, it is fine. But the thing is, bears had to choose before between the Omen on Clarity and 10% more damage build or the 15% more threat build that the Feral build gave you. Now you can merge both builds that are in the meta right now, and you get both Omen on Clarity and the threat modifier and all the Feral stuff at the same time. I have been tinkering with a build that gives you both, and you can do cat and bear with the same build. It is pretty cool. I am gonna make a video for it later. But now that the bear scales of weapon damage, and it is also getting the manual crowd pummeler on top of that, no big deal by the way, it's just the best weapon in the game. They are using it all the way into tier 3, the bears. They are gonna pump. I guess it must suck to be a caster right now. Speaking of casters, there is one that will actually not suck at all, and it is an unlikely one. As you see in the other week in my video, there was only one caster in the world that hit top 100 this tier, and that was Rock the Warlock. I just noticed these rhymes. I feel stupid now. Anyway, this guy invented a super scaling build that multiplies damage of itself to the point that he is pulling 140% additional damage. That is more than twice the damage of a normal Warlock, mind you. This build alone made the Warlock the most scaling caster in the game, and as far as scaling goes, the later you get into the game, the better they get. There is another thing working for them. You see, Warlocks do not get Curse of Shadows until level 46, but it doesn't matter because this guy is going full fire damage and Curse of Elements will be available, so fire damage will get stronger. And with all those new spell power items that you can get, they are gonna scale even harder. But not only that, with the new 40 build, they are gonna sacrifice 30% pet damage, and in turn they are gonna get 8% more total fire damage, 25% more immolate damage, double crit modifier on their spells, and a new instant nuke called Conflagrate that does a lot of damage. So not only they were already the hardest scalers in the game, they are gonna scale even harder. I think it's a little funny, the hunters are gonna depend on their pet even more than before, and at the same time the warlocks are gonna get rid of their pet damage for their own. It's weird. If you're on the fence on whether you're gonna play a warlock or a hunter, that's something you wanna consider. Finally, the class that is gonna be the absolute best in phase 2, no question about it, is gonna be the Boomkin. Oh my god, you thought I was serious. Oh my, I wish I could have seen your face. Oh, you thought I was serious for real. Oh, you're funny. Okay, this one is gonna be so broken, I can't even believe people aren't talking about it yet. I might have to make a video on it. I call this build the Wind Fury tank. Not a shaman tank, mind you, screw those guys, they keep stealing my gear, I hate them. I am talking about the warrior. Now that Devastate is a thing and warriors scale off their own damage, the opposite thing as usual is true. Protection warriors are incentivized to not go prot at all and focus on getting more and more damage. But think of this, protection warriors can go all the way down to atoms, take sword spec for a 5% chance of Wind Fury, or even axe spec, as there are a lot of slow one-handers you can take on axes too now, because remember, with Devastate you want the slowest weapon possible instead of the fastest like it used to be. Then they can take sweeping strikes to be one of the most formidable tanks in the game. Then they can turn to cruelty for another 5% more crit, and they are gonna do stupid damage, especially AoE. It is an idiot-proof plan. They do a quadrillion damage, they generate 20% more rage, and you can cleave for free. If I do not see a tank warrior hitting top 100 DPS in the next tier, I am gonna be shocked to my core. At the end of the day, we cannot know for sure what class is gonna be the best because we do not know the runes yet. There could easily be a rune that breaks the balance and flips everything over because this is Blizzard after all and they are not known for making their game make any sense. But I'm gonna be here talking about it and complaining a lot. Subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.